This is the Grow Business Podcast with Cory Mosley. Lonnie, have you ever attended a strong Black Baptist church?
Yes.
You have? Why is that not surprising? Was there a woman involved?
I'm sure. That's usually most of my stories, most of the things that I've done involve. There was, yes.
Yeah. I attended church one time for a woman.
Yeah.
And it was the craziest church experience I'd ever seen. They were talking in tongues.
Oh, yeah.
I'd never experienced anything like that before. Yeah. So they start hitting the I don't know what's going on.
Right.
It was scary.
That's when you want to be close to the front door.
Didn't work out. I wonder why.
I hope she's doing
might
great.
have been a deal breaker. I mean, I'm all for church, man of faith, but
right.
We had to move on.
There's lots of ways to represent.
Speaking of moving on, folks, you are at the right place. Don't change that streaming button you hit. This is the Grow Business Podcast. Right. Despite our opening, we are here. Yes, we are here to talk about growing your business. I'm Cory Mosley, and I'm joined by, of course, the man, the myth, the legend. Always down for a good time. LG007 Lon Graham is here. Voice of Reason.
It's good to be here, Cory.
Yes, also known as the Voice of Reason. And of course, we can't make any of this go or re-go or start again or whatever without the man behind the computer. You know what I'm talking about? He's here. Willie H is here. William. Willie H is here.
Hit the buttons, William.
Yeah. Willie H, he loves it when you call him that. So I encourage you, anybody who knows him in the area, if you see him, run up to him and say, Willie H. Willie H, I hear your dad is calling you Willie H. So we really like that. We're going to have to get that other microphone hooked up so he can chime in over there because that microphone works. We just got to get it plugged in and working. So we're here for another great. I mean, I think they're great shows. I mean, if you're listening, hopefully you agree too. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We want to welcome you. If you are an old friend, we are happy old listener or viewer. YouTube, we're streaming everywhere now that you can stream that's any good.
Right.
I suppose there's some places we're not streaming, but if it's not Apple, Amazon, Google, iHeart, so we're YouTube, we're covering all those bases. So we're appreciative to have you here. We're going to be talking about another fun topic. We're going to get kind of surgical with this one here.
Okay.
Because sometimes we go broad.
Right.
And then sometimes we get a little surgical.
Right.
And as usual, Lon has no idea what we're talking about. It's like a thing we do here. But he manages though to pull out some golden nuggets no matter what I throw at him. And I think that's commendable. We got give that man a round. We have hand clap. What do we got? We got give him a round of applause. Woo.
Thank you.
Ooh, that's spicy in my ear there. We're gonna be meeting with Willie H at the conclusion of this podcast. All right. We need a drum roll. Do we have drum roll? Okay, that you got to get on that next time we have a drum roll because we have to have a drum roll. I'm gonna do like a drum roll. I'm gonna do my own. We're gonna be talking about text messaging today.
Okay.
So 5 pillars, right? Mindset, sales, marketing, operations, and people.
Right.
This is the marketing pillar we're going to be talking about today. Okay. And within that, we'll be talking about text messaging in your marketing, in your sales, and your post-sale process. Now, I see text messaging happening more so a lot of times in the post-sale process.
Okay.
We'll see it, right? Notifications, verifications, you book an appointment, you book a call, the painter's coming to your house, they're sending you text messages. But a lot of people are truly missing the boat when it comes to sales engagement and marketing engagement in terms of using that because things have shifted.
Right.
And, sometimes people don't notice and sometimes people just, they never get involved to begin with. So when they do get involved, they were never around for the first round of something, right? So what I mean by that is, we used to have the short codes, right? Text love to 4522 to get whatever.
Right.
And kind of we've moved past that kind of how it's working. So there's a lot of opportunity to capture leads.
Yes.
And to work your follow-up. Now, I've even seen something very interesting. I saw a piece of software the other day where, so now we know like Calendly and those things that people use, particularly if you're in the services business, you're probably familiar with Calendly or HubSpot or, OneCore. There's a few key players out there for booking and doing your booking.
Correct.
And I saw, and I love the innovation because somebody looked at what Calendly was doing, basically said, what's missing or how can we affect this?
Right.
So for those of you that are used to going through a calendar system, whether you have one or use one in your business or you've been through that process, I saw something that was super interesting where now with like Calendly or even with HubSpot, and we use both of those in our businesses, you select your date and time. Okay. And then you go through if there's questions, right? Your email, your telephone number, your cell number for for notifications.
Correct.
And whatever questions that you might be asking. So this company has the calendar tool, but before you can unlock the dates and times, you start with your cell phone number. Okay. So it's actually pretty cool.
Interesting.
Because the moment you type the cell phone number in, it grabs that and sends that to the database already. So in the event, because what happens is you get people who will land on your calendar, start the process and won't finish it. And then you never know. And then you're looking at if you're working with an agency or you're looking at your marketing, UTM tags. I know I may be speaking foreign to some people out there, but you're looking at these tracking metrics.
Correct.
For dollars that you're spending in advertising, and then you see the conversion rate is really low. Like people may hit, but they're not converting, which means they're not filling out, they're not actually booking. Right. So what they do, if you do that, if you put your cell phone number in and start typing your information, once you put in your cell phone number, your email, and your first and last name, then it unlocks the calendar and then drops down the rest of the questions. So you basically have to answer all of the things first, then pick your time. So by reversing it, they have dramatically increased the amount of lead capture they're getting for their clients as a result of that. The only thing I didn't like about it, we're not plugging software because I'm not going to name the company. Right. But the only thing I didn't like is you'll love this. The thing that irritates me is something you'll love, which is they operate on military time.
Sure. I do,
so someone can, I know. So someone can't, you've got to know that 1500, you know what I mean, is 3:00. Right. And I find that annoying, and I think that's confusing to people. So we were going to try using it, but I'm not for that reason. Because I just think people will see that 1800 and go, I don't know, or is this America? Right. This isn't America. Like, I mean, you gotta.
Right. So well, if you've never had any experience with it, then it's frustrating.
Right.
100%.
Exactly.
One thing I'll say though about that, and without knowing what we're going to talk about, is
we're going to talk about text messaging. but I just popped in my head because it's just an innovative way on how they're doing it. So now I've got that capture of the leads.
Well, I've got to believe too that increases the engagement, meaning more people, the people that actually schedule a meeting are going to have a higher likelihood to to be part of that meeting than those who schedule a meeting first. And then
I'm more interested in the people it's like the abandoned cart in e-commerce, right?
Right.
Knowing that that recovery percentage can be higher when you're triggering an email. You put those dog biscuits in your cart and didn't buy them.
Right.
But now I've got at least the email address now. And then that conversion. So anything that I'm converting at that point is a win.
Correct.
Because they had left.
Right.
So in that model, now I can see 10 people that didn't book calls, but I captured their cell number.
Right.
Now that means nothing if I don't have a system for communicating with those people. I just have cell phone numbers. Right. So, and when we're talking about text messaging in particular or SMS marketing, it really is an underutilized tool right now. I mean, I have a buddy that has built a whole, $50 million business based on texting. His license plate on his cars literally is text first.
Oh, okay.
That's the vanity plate.
Oh, fun.
Shout out to Jason. and Scarlett. So, he's like, don't call anybody.
Right.
Now, you got to evangelize your product, right? So, I mean, so you got to be anti-phone if you're pro-text,
right.
like in that way. But like, forget email, forget phones, text. So I want to talk about that because it is underutilized. So we want to do as we like to do. We like to hit you with the, 3, 5, 7, 9 if you're, ambitious.
Right.
That usually ends up in a part 2.
Right.
So we want to talk about some reasons why business owners need to be integrating text messaging into their marketing, sales, and if they're not doing it for post-sale, they should be doing that.
Yes.
Okay?
100%.
All right.
Good.
Now the cat's out the bag.
There you go.
So I'm going to start with number 1,
okay,
which should be, I go through this thing in my head where I'm like, this should be obvious.
Right.
But it's just not always, for a variety of reasons. It is not necessarily intelligence. It's just, I got so much things going on, and so many times I'm used to people going, I never thought about that. We all have those moments, like, I never thought about that.
Right.
And that light bulb just happened for me being at dinner with some friends recently, and he said something, and a light bulb went off, and now I'm going to use what he said, to do something else. So sometimes moments, but that's why interacting with people, talking with friends, listening to podcasts like the Grow Business Podcast becomes important because it can spark conversation. So number 1 is instant reach and high open rates.
Okay. Yes.
So, I mean, in a world with email, we look at our email, we talk about, we look at some of our email stats on some of the stuff, our newsletter, some things we sit out, and it's like 39%.
Okay.
Which is crazy above industry average. It's my understanding. I don't have the details on my fingertips, but that's like a great email open rate.
Right.
Now you're dealing with people who ask to receive the email, and you send value. That usually equals a high email open rate.
Right.
But even with a 39% email open rate, which most people would go is above average, and people would love that. There's people out there who are dying to have a 39% open rate.
Right.
That still means what, Lon?
61% are.
61% are not opening the email. Now, we know that that's not, the open rates aren't perfect and the tracking's not perfect, but 61% may not even be getting my message.
Correct.
You and I will do this show. We'll finish this show. We'll look at our phone.
Yeah.
If there's a text message, I can glance now. I have a text message waiting for me.
Right.
The likelihood of me not opening that text message or looking at it, period, is close to 0.
Right.
Now, my mother, bless her heart, got, 600 text messages to go along with her 6,000 emails.
Right.
But for the average person in a B2B or a business environment, the average person, we're going to look at it.
Yes.
So you're talking about 98% open rates.
Oh, wow.
With emails, what they're saying the average email open rate is 20% or less.
I believe that. Yeah.
So even being double, we're still missing people.
Right.
But now I can get 98% by going to text message.
Right.
So we're also talking about immediate delivery.
Yes.
And the ability to reach customers where they are instantly.
Well, yes. And the thing about a text message is, like you just said, Cory, is you've got to go past a text message to get into your phone. Most people have text messages show up as a notification, which means it shows up on your home screen before you even get into it. Whereas most people don't have email set up as a notification. And even if you do, you still got to get into your email. You still have to do a couple of things. That's a one-step shop.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. Got to use it.
Got to use it.
Right. So that's the problem. You know how many businesses aren't using text messaging as a means.
That's a great opportunity for
stop what you're doing, press pause, and get you a Twilio account. Your CRM should have this capabilities. If your CRM, customer relationship management software, doesn't have this capabilities, you need a new CRM, or you need to be talking to somebody. Right. Modernization, business modernization is key in this process. So we want to look at how we can communicate that. Right. Now I can increase my deliverability. Now, but to do that, I've got to be capturing. So I've got to be using software. I've got to install the things that I need in my lead process or my marketing process to create that opportunity.
Right.
You know, so that means asking potentially for more information than maybe you're asking for now.
Right.
Well, Cory, I don't want to ask people for too much information. Well, are we looking for buyers or not?
Well, right.
If I'm interested, I'll put my information in.
Right.
Right? If a woman's interested, she will show up for the date.
That's correct.
Right?
That is correct.
Or whoever, whatever you're into.
Yeah.
If someone's interested in you, they'll show up for the date. Right? You know.
Well, the bottom line is if you ask somebody for that information, they give it to you, that means that they're engaged enough to find out more about what you're doing.
Right.
Give them a chance.
Yeah, 100%. Now, you got to do your job, right? You don't send crap. Don't send spam. Don't send, that's a different story. But in terms of how we can add opportunities for greater engagement and connecting with somebody, most of us would agree every modality that I can create gives me an opportunity to do two things. One, an additional touch point.
Right.
Number two is it gives me the opportunity to communicate with somebody in the mode that they are most comfortable. Because if I eliminate that as an option or don't offer it as an option, and that's how people communicate, you're never going to try calling me on the phone.
Right.
What did the guy say on the other end from Tripolia? Marco from Tripolia told Liam Neeson, good luck.
Right. That's right.
That's what he said. Good luck. Because it's just not, it's not practical based on how my day runs to be stopping for phone calls or things that aren't on my schedule.
Well, most of the time, and most of the time, people are turning their phone off or turning their ringer off if they're doing something, so that they're not going, so that they aren't disrupted.
Right.
So when they do pick it up,
I'm on D&D now.
Right.
So unless my mother or grandmother calls or wife, that short list.
Right.
You're going to La La Land.
Correct. And then when you do pick up the phone, if you're using text messaging, like you just said, that's the first thing you see. Right.
I'm going to prioritize from that. So, all right. If you're not convinced yet, just in terms of your ability to improve your open rates and your touch points with the marketing you send out. Number two, a greater ability to have customized engagement.
Yes.
The ability to create personalized communication. So yes, you can load up your message and bulk text it out, the coupon or the sale that you're offering, but you also have the opportunity to go one-to-one.
Yes.
A lot of times if we get a lead coming in, I will go to the website, we'll look that up and then make some reference.
Correct.
Right? Put it in and put that in a text message. And I know that that's going to get looked at faster than the email. That may not even make it to the destination, because those open rates aren't just a factor of like people ignoring your email. That's also a factor of spam.
Yes.
Or being flagged as spam, right?
Correct.
Because many of us that send mass emails are using mass systems that are sending our email plus 222 other thousand other businesses.
Correct.
They have to go through protocols.
Right.
So I mean, this, you can drive yourself crazy with this. For all those of you that want to geek out on this stuff, just look at demarcation, and what they call SPF, DNS, setting up your DNS for SPF. If you want to geek out on that stuff and go down that rabbit hole.
Right. Good luck.
Yeah. So, but again, that's why you have to have advisors. That's why you have to be working with the right companies, people that are going to keep you up to speed on this when it comes to these types of issues. So, all right, personalized communication. So create more strong communications with customers, your ability to send tailored stuff, tailored promotions, tailored updates. Because I hate when somebody sends me stuff that has nothing to do with me.
Right.
The car dealer is sending me an email about getting my car ready for summer. Right. And I don't even have that brand anymore.
Right. Right. You're just on a mailing list.
Or I send in a lead about a new something or other, and then you're telling me, you're sending me, because now you just put me in your general population. Right. That's that set it, forget it, that Ron Popeil that I talk about. Right. Exactly, that's the rotisserie chicken. Set it and forget it.
Right.
I think we need that as a future. I think we need that as a future. But I don't want any copyright trademark violations on that. I'm just saying words, folks. Just saying words. Shout out to Ron Popeil. Is he still alive?
We'd have to research that.
No, I'm going to look that. I'm going to look that up right now, because because it's my podcast and we can do these kind of things.
You can.
Ron Popeil. I just want to look him up. Oh, nope. Ron Popeil is no longer with us. Rest in peace, Ron Popeil. He died in 2021, so that was a pandemic time. So shout out to Ron Popeil. Know that your sayings and slogans are living on.
Right.
On the Grow Business Podcast.
That's right.
Streaming everywhere. All right. Personalization. I mean, do you get stuff that's like, right, not even in the stratosphere?
Yeah, I get both.
Yeah,
I get the stuff that's not even in the stratosphere.
Right.
And I'm like, but then so going back to the personalization piece, you said the CRM, right? If your CRM includes a text messaging component, it makes personalization so much easier.
Right.
Because you've got all that information there to work from.
Yep.
100%.
100%.
Yeah.
A double 100%. So, Willie H is a little light on the button choice. I don't even know. Are you Willie H? Willie H, can you see me? Can you see me, Willie H? All right, let's keep it rolling. Hopefully, he'll rejoin the conversation at some point. Okay. Next up, cost effectiveness.
Okay.
So again, I think another thing that gets overlooked. I mean, I still get direct mail.
Yes.
I'm not saying direct mail doesn't work. I suppose if there's something I'm interested in,
right, I
still open the Valpak mailer when it comes to the house, so I can see what's in there.
Right.
So I mean, I now that might be a prospecting tool.
There's much
wink, wink.
There's much research.
Yeah. See who's spending money, see who's advertising.
Right.
But I still open it.
Right.
And if there was something there that is of interest to me, I'll pull it out.
Right.
But that can get expensive, right?
Yes.
When you're talking about zones and territories and direct mail can be tens of thousands of dollars, where right now you can still text for fractions of pennies.
Correct.
0.00 whatever of a cent to be able to do that. Now, does that add up over time? Sure. But if you've got ROI going, it doesn't matter, right? If I spent $20,000 in text messaging, but I was doing $200,000 in business, we would, there's no conversation there.
Right.
So it becomes an affordable option over direct mail and even digital advertising, even running, now you've got to have the information to be capturing. So some of those things go together, but it certainly is a tool to bring my costs down, because in that example of that calendar software company, their ability to capture the SMS early on will help me ultimately drive down my cost per sale or cost per customer acquisition if I'm able to now follow up with the people who didn't convert right away.
Right.
And now use that idea of you got to hit them 7-8 times before they come to the table.
Well, yes. And you're paying a subscription for the service that you're using. And so that's a fixed cost. Whereas when you're doing the Valpaks or you're doing these mailers, you could be paying weight, you could be paying, that's not necessarily a fixed cost for all the things that you send, because they become variable.
Well, you and I have had this conversation.
Yes.
There's a publication. you know where I'm going.
So yes, we've had this conversation.
There's a publication, folks, in our town that circulates. And again, I want to make my points. I'm not here to call anybody out and whatever.
And it's well done.
But it is what it is.
It's well done.
Thank you. So there is a publication.
Right.
The publication is well done.
Right.
Oh, I thought you said done that I don't call people out. I thought it was a compliment.
Well,
but,
both.
Okay.
There you go. It's good that
Long Graham will be back next week.
Yay. Willie H is on it.
Yeah, Willie H is on it.
And it's a good publication.
Yeah.
And what you're going to say, I will add to at the end.
Okay. So there's this publication, and of course, they're selling advertising. So there are businesses that, we want on some of the things that we do, video content, some things. But they have great businesses there. They have coaches, they have dentists, counselors, attorneys, accountants, all the things you would have if you were circulating in a local business area. And it is a well done publication. It looks nice, and it's part of a franchise kind of system of doing publications in the area. But undoubtedly, they will tout when they are trying to secure their advertisers. They will tout the idea that they have a circulation in this city or this town, and it goes to all these places. Now, there's a mutual facility or a mutual commonplace area where business owners congregate that this magazine gets distributed to. And when I go to this location, and Lon knows I've sent him pictures of this.
I've seen it.
In the closet of one of these locations are boxes of these publications just sitting there with, I don't know how many magazines are in there, but a lot.
Right.
Just imagine a UPS box full of these magazines that are sitting in a closet, which means that circulation is BS.
Right.
Because it's not really getting in the hands of the people. So people are making an investment in this publication, expecting circulation, looking for phone calls. Obviously, they're advertising, investing in their business.
Right.
And I don't know, 100? I don't know exactly how many, but any sitting dormant in a closet just waiting to be thrown out is a disservice to that small business owner. That made the investment in being in the publication. That's just dumb.
100%.
Yeah.
And so what I'll say is this, is it's a very well done publication.
You said that already.
Right. And what I'm going to say next is it doesn't matter if it's a secret because secrets don't sell.
Yes.
So if you're putting something in there that nobody sees, no matter how good it is.
And you and I, you know how bad I've been tempted to send that picture to a few people.
Correct.
The problem is because we have a service, one of our services could be considered in the space of advertising.
Correct.
It appears like sour grapes to a sense, when in reality, I just don't like that for a business owner.
Right.
That person spent whatever they spent, whether it was $500 or $5,000. I just don't like that idea that they paid for something and it's being treated that way. They're not getting what they paid for.
Right. And while your intentions are good, your intentions wouldn't be received in the way they're intended.
I suppose. I would want to know. It's the old, if you ran into somebody, if you saw your husband out with another, would you want to, should they know? Like, you know what I mean? So I don't know. I feel like I would want to know, but I just let it be because I don't want the perception, to be that I'm trying to put them down. I mean, it is what it is. You've got their magazine sitting in boxes. Not me.
Lord have mercy.
There you go. Willie H. just woke it up.
He's working on his quota.
Thank you. Welcome back. Extended bathroom break in the middle of the podcast. All right. Okay, next one.
Next.
We're getting through these pretty efficiently.
We're doing well.
I like this.
We're doing well.
Is this the early bird podcast?
That's exactly right.
Today's Express podcast.
This is
has been brought to you by us.
This is the Espresso podcast.
Yeah, the Express podcast. Okay. Seamless integration with other marketing efforts. Right.
Okay.
So an SMS can easily be integrated into broader marketing strategies.
Right.
So it can complement your email. It complements your social media and the other channels. So it's not as if you are now unearthing some completely different situation.
Right.
Because if you were sending a message, if you were sending a coupon, or you were sending an incentive or sending something of value that you would put in email, you can put that in text.
Right.
Do a little shorter.
Right.
So if we'll do sometimes is if we released a new piece of content, people who have opted in to receive text from us, will post.
Correct.
We'll send a text message.
Right.
Hey, new podcast just released. Check it out.
Yeah.
And go here. So, and we send the email and we do the social media post.
Right.
So that whole 360 again goes back to that point about the modalities of how I can communicate in ways that you communicate. What are your thoughts?
Well, it's increasing visibility, it's increasing awareness, and you're giving people an opportunity to make a decision to engage.
Yeah.
And you're giving them one more way to actively engage. And the reality of it is that people take that mobile computer with them everywhere. So if you're sending them text messages, that's, like you said, 98% open rate. Well, that's because they've got it with them all the time.
Correct.
We joke now that it's harder to lose your phone than it is to lose your wallet because it's harder to replace the information. I mean, it's a joke, but it's only partially a joke, right? Because you have everything in there.
That's right.
And often your wallet's in there too. So
voice the people, they're carrying around the stick to the back and then and then people put their credit card and stuff in there and with the phone.
Or you load it into the software and use it to pay for it.
Oh yeah, that too. but like I don't know. I mean, I lose my phone. I'd like to at least have my wallet. I lose my wallet. I'd at least like to have my phone. It seems like I'm setting myself up for a double whammy.
Indeed.
Right?
Indeed. But you're increasing visibility, you're increasing touch points, you're increasing engagement.
And we're in this society now where we assume everybody has these things. I was making this comment to my wife the other day. I would never stop for somebody on the road anymore.
Right.
It doesn't even cross my mind.
Right. Because
they obviously have a cell phone.
Right.
So they can call somebody, call whoever they need to handle it.
Right.
Whereas, back then, Jesus, I'm getting old enough to say that. Lon, I know you've been old enough to say that for a long time, but like saying back then.
We'll say there was a time.
Yeah, there was a time. Yeah, where you didn't. I mean, even when you didn't have. Like, I mean, right. I think my mother had a cell phone, the old bag phone in 93.
Right.
So it was probably available, earlier than that. But, where you had to say what you had to say for nights and weekends kicked in. Like don't be playing no games at 1 o'clock in the afternoon on that bag cell phone with the cigarette lighter. But like that wasn't. At that point, cell phone wasn't Correct. Mass appeal still.
Correct.
So now I just never crossed with somebody's broken down. It's like, okay, They got somebody coming where you might stop and pull over. Do you need help? Can I help you with something? Right. We're not even thinking about that anymore.
Right. So especially in this country.
Yeah. So yeah, folks, I don't know about this cell phone attached to your wallet thing, but it sounds like a different podcast. All right. So yeah, seamlessly, amplify other messages, get it out. Redundancy can drive conversions.
Correct.
Oh, great. I just saw this on the email. They hit me with text. Oh, right. Now I'm seeing a retargeting ad online. Okay, great. Now I need to take action and convert. Particularly if we're talking, bottom of the funnel, top of the funnel kind of conversations about people getting interested and introduced to your brand.
Right.
All right. Well, I think we got one more.
Okay. We're doing good.
If you're not convinced yet that you need to get a text messaging strategy ASAP in your organization. So now the other side, and a lot of this has been sales marketing related. Now also it is an excellent customer service and support tool.
100%.
Being able to respond, being able to reduce wait time, being able to improve satisfaction. My mother had an incident with her vehicle. She's fine. The vehicle, not so much. But, AAA.
Yeah.
So I was able to call AAA from my phone, dispatch it there, and then monitor that progress via their system.
Right.
But all those generated links came through text message.
Yeah.
Because even so many people, like I had to tell my mother, I said, I had to show her how to go on the phone because she's got these silence unknown callers.
Okay.
As a lot of people do, particularly if you're, iPhone people. Right. I don't know how they do that stuff in that, Android world. Willie H have to counsel me later. Maybe you just tell it. It's so fancy because it's so advanced. Everybody knows Android, so advanced. Android Advance, whatever.
Hold on, Buckaroo.
Yeah. So in the iPhone world, you have to go. So I had to literally tell her because she would have missed the number.
Right.
I mean, like something just as simple as that. Because if I didn't remember to tell her to turn that off, when they dialed the 800 number, they would have gone to voicemail.
Right.
So, and she wouldn't have been able to make phone contact if it was. So the text message, even if you're in D&D, once you come, like you said, out of that.
Right.
So it's just so impactful if you want to enhance the customer experience, because we're entering a time, Lon. Tell me what do you think about this? We're entering a time where delighting a customer is much harder to do. And it's not like, ooh, fire now.
Right.
Where I expect to get a text message about where the Amazon driver is in delivering I expect a text message if I'm waiting for a service provider or if the Pizza Hut guy is on his way. So it's no longer like, oh, how cool is that?
Right.
So you've got to push that envelope.
Right.
Like, honestly, if we're having this conversation, I want businesses all over the country to modernize as fast as possible to get a competitive edge. But like, if you're listening to this right now and you're not doing anything with text message, it's like you're behind.
Right.
And I don't care how successful your business is right now.
Right.
That can change in an instance.
Well, if you want to keep it successful, one generation's discovery or creation becomes the next generation's standard and expectation.
Yeah.
To your point, when you say that it's harder to deliver excellent customer service, the expectation has risen because of the standard is now technology. When it was the discovery or the creation, it was novel.
Right.
Now this is a new generation and it's the expectation.
We don't need to do that. We don't need to have that fancy stuff. Our customers love us just how we do business.
Right.
No.
Well, it was novel when it was created. It's no longer novel. It's now expected.
My dad was recently by the house, stayed with us.
Okay.
Came in, with his luggage, couple things, had a bag, and in the bag were he likes jazz music.
Okay.
So in the bag were CDs.
Okay.
I said, I don't know what we're doing with this.
Those are gonna
stay in the bag.
Right.
Oh, you don't have a CD player? No, it's 2024. No.
Right.
No, I don't have that.
That's exactly the point though.
What I do have is a Sonos.
Right. Exactly.
So here you go. Real jazz with no commercials.
Right.
Enjoy. But like it's, and it's interesting. I mean, even now we talked about that at the extreme of older age.
Right.
But now, you have kids who will never know what any of that is.
Right.
And how did that evolve? My greatest pain inside the business environment is watching businesses die.
Right.
Because they didn't want them. Like no other reason is you just chose not to act when there was an opportunity. And I don't mean you have to be a trailblazer and everything, and you got to go ahead first and buy any product or service that you see.
Right.
But even in this world of content now with video content, when I talk to a business owner that, I want to get more exposure. I want to get more clients. I want to get more of this, and I've got a great message and I've done this and I've accomplished that. Great. Okay, good. Here's the next step.
Right.
Make an investment in X.
Right.
Oh, well, let me go, let me go, call me back.
Well done.
Look at that. I didn't even see that one coming.
Well done.
Sing so loud behind me. Good Lord.
Good job.
But it's like, and then I have those conversations over and over, particularly in the coaching consulting world, where everybody needs more clients. Everybody's looking for more clients.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, great. We'll have the video conversation. Great.
Right.
Where do you realize I went on your website? I clicked your social media page and the link doesn't even work.
Right.
Or you've got nothing on there. Oh, I've been wanting to invest in some video. As soon as I get a few more clients.
Right.
That's not how this works. I need that as well, William. Yeah. That's not how this works.
Right.
They play the chicken or the egg game. Now, if you don't have money to invest in your business, my suggestion is you got to go back to work to do that. Like, and I'm talking micro businesses, right? Solo practitioners, solopreneurs. Right. But like, it just doesn't work that way.
Right.
Because that day never comes the way you want it to come.
Right.
Oh, let me go close up five or six more people. Where are they coming from?
Right.
Because they don't know you.
Right. If you're not going to do something different, they're not going to find you. And the hard part is that you can have a bad year, but don't let it turn into a bad career.
Right.
So
bad decade.
Right.
Ooh,
when you
have when the church say amen. Exactly.
When things stall, when things like when you're losing clients or customers, you've got to start making some decisions to get new ones. Mm-hmm. The challenge is it's a lot easier to get them now while you got them than it is to try and get them when you're losing them.
Right.
And so think about what is one thing that you can add in the next month, in the next 2 months, in the next quarter that will allow you to increase your visibility. Maybe it's maybe you buy a video and an interview and you say, hey, look, this is why you should work with me. The expectation is you still have a great product.
Right.
The challenge is that the expectation of a great product is different now. And part of that is the communication.
Yes. And making these upgrades, the other thing here is getting in this type of game may change your business in such a way that you rethink ultimately who your customers are.
Right.
I had a friend just post that he's got 3 tiers, pricing tiers in his business. Yeah. He's considering dropping the lowest tier.
Yeah.
Because he's now looked at and said 90% of the issues and the customer service and the extra hours and extra time is being spent on the lowest tier customer.
Correct.
The lowest tier usually means lowest margin.
Correct.
So it's like, okay, great. I'll drop 50 customers by doing this.
Right.
But I will free up resources. Maybe I don't have to. Listen, I hate to see people on the unemployment line, but you're running a business, so you have to think about things like that.
Right.
So maybe he's able to lean out, save money, reinvest, invest in other areas. Right. So there's some other things that can happen if putting something like an SMS strategy in your business can now create more opportunities for you to do business or drop other calls. Maybe something you used to do by phone call now can be done by a text message.
Right.
You used to have the restaurant person calling everybody. Oh, so you booked for 4:00. Calling to confirm. Calling to confirm. Calling to confirm.
Right.
Now, let the text message do it.
Yes.
Press Y for yes.
Right.
Or no, I won't be there.
100%.
So we need to look at those things. Okay. Awesome. That's it. I like this. I think I like this new, all right, we're done.
Yeah.
We've if you're not compelled to go out and seek out a text messaging platform or start Googling that or looking that up, then I don't know what to tell you.
Right.
I quote often a retired military general who says, those who hate change will hate irrelevance a lot more.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's a powerful thing. So we're going to get out of here.
There you go.
As always, we end the show with a big thank you. Thank you for your viewership, listenership. If you're listening to us on one of the streaming platforms like Spotify, Google Play, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, all those places we're streaming, or you're watching us on YouTube. Yep. We want to continue to thank you for that. If you're sharing this with other friends or business folk, I like to use different words that I don't normally use in everyday life. Folk. Business folk.
Showing your range.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's good. Share this with other business folk. If you know people in the entrepreneur community that need to know about this, please share a link, drop a link. We thank you for your feedback. We love the 5 stars. We're continuing to work to get better. We're continuing always to deliver information that can do one thing, and that's grow your business. So what's your name, buddy?
Lon Graham.
Lon Graham. I'm Cory Mosley. And for Willie H., this has been the Grow Business Podcast. We will see you next week. Willie H., take us out.
That is...
I'm going to text you.
Yeah. That is...
just for... I'm going to send you an email and text you. See which one you get first. We're going to play a game.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, the reality of it is that technology is moving so fast.
Yeah.
That if you're not using it, you're getting beat by not
That's
using
right.
it. You're getting beat by it.
100%.
Yeah. It's good.
Left behind the party.
Yeah. It's good.